Hi folks, Rick Wedell here. I'm the Chief Investment Officer at RFG Advisory. Thought we'd come to you today with a brief market update. I am at an undisclosed location. One of the wonderful things about this job is that you can kind of do it from anywhere. S&P 500 is at 5562. That's a little higher over the weekend, with obviously the largest piece of news coming out being the Biden Kamala Harris news over the weekend, which you probably already know. Joe Biden decided to step out of the Democratic race and basically endorse Kamala Harris. That doesn't necessarily mean that she is the candidate for the Democrats, but it means that she is at least the presumptive candidate for the Democrats. And it certainly does point that way, that she will, in fact, be the Democratic candidate. She has access to all of the fundraising that has been done on behalf of the Biden-Harris campaign, which gives her about a $90 million head start over anybody else in the Democrats that might want to take up that position. And then secondarily, and perhaps more importantly, there's just not that much time that the Democrats have to be able to name a candidate. They have to have one they would have to name one during the Democratic convention, which is August 19th. And presumably, if you're a Democratic strategist, you actually want to name one before the convention so that the convention can serve as more of a rallying party as opposed to more of a contentious debate-centered deal. So you've really got less than 4 weeks to try and pull all this together, which doesn't give anybody really that much time to try and challenge her. So what that leaves us with is pretty much the assumption of a Kamala Harris ticket against Donald Trump. And from the market's perspective, that doesn't really mean that all that much has changed. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden viewed as basically having the same policy agenda. So there's not really that much going on there in terms of, oh no, if the Democrats win, now we have all these different policies that we have to think about as opposed to what Joe was going to do. Both of them have a very similar outlook on the world and so probably would have a very similar policy stance. And then on a secondary point, both of them are polling very similarly versus Trump. So both of them with about, call it about 4 percentage points behind Trump, which means that the odds of the election moving one direction or another really haven't changed that much in one direction or another. So with all of that, a lot of big news over the weekend and certainly a lot of stuff that's very interesting, but from the market's perspective, not necessarily that much to crow about in terms of new developments. But also just note that Biden's removal from the race, I think, or retirement from the race, if you will, was widely anticipated, which is one of the reasons why we're seeing a muted market reaction. With that, I will also just comment that we are in the middle of earnings season, about 71 companies in the S&P 500 reporting to date, and we are tracking about 9% EPS growth, which is right in line with where we expect it to be. So with that, as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or to your advisor. I hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.